Welcome back, it's SNG Weekly, and this week we're going to be working on Martians Attacks. That's right. I did talk to you guys a while back and said we are shifting from model making, since it's really hard to make a living making models, to more film production. We are doing costumes, we are doing visual effects, we're doing After Effects, editing, CGI, practical effects, making, creatures, monsters, and even doing large-scale miniatures if your production so needs it, or if you're a very serious collector who has the actual money to spend on something like this, who wants us to build it, we'll build it for you. It don't matter who you are. Well, anyway, so that's why we've shifted so much to film production, and we do have another movie planned, and you're going to hear more of that, and it's going to be a full-length feature, and then there's some other film projects that we're kind of do too, and you're going to hear more about this as time goes on. So right now, this week, we're going to be working on Martians Attacks, and of course, we did shoot last Friday, and there was a great deal of footage shot, and I managed to edit most of it by the time I started making this video. And you're going to see what's been done there, and of course it was all green screen, and now what we're going to do is go fill in all that green screen with temporary composites, meaning we're going to put the backgrounds in that eventually be elaborated on with more effects in them. Likewise, I'm going to be doing some stuff on Lightwave, and of course, we still are building models. See? Because some of you really complained about that. We're going to go back upstairs and do a little bit of work on Battlestar too, and see if we can't get that one flight deck pod all put together. So, got a lot on our plate. Let's get going. Well, here we are back at the editing bay, and what we're doing is all that footage we shot last week or last Friday, I've been working on all this week. Here we are at Wednesday, and I've been doing After Effects composites and effects. And Simon Merks, who's in our film, was so kind to shoot his footage in Florida and send it to us. He was really unsure if it was going to work or not, but then he said, well, then again, you'll probably make it work. Well, we did. And what's really cool is, well, After Effects. I mean, all of you that work in After Effects know how cool it is. I'm used to digital fusion. I'm actually enjoying working in After Effects almost as much. I like the node mode, but this works really good. And what's really cool is that, well, here he is looking up at me from the roof. I'm on top of the roof, and I see him down below. He's eating my hot dog. You'll understand when you see the movie, but when you go to the raw footage, you can see that's the raw footage that he sent. This is the layer of the ground, which has got a soft focus on it, that I took where he should be standing, and then here's the composite. You'll notice that he is now lit from the side, because that's the direction the sun is going down in and cracking through the clouds. You'll see we have none of that here, and yet I was able to affect that very well in After Effects. And we got some very funny images of Simon. So I'm actually to a point now where I need to start doing Lightwave shots, and I've rendered out a background that I'm going to animate some spaceships over. So I'm going to boot up Lightwave here. And there it is. And thank you. And then we're going to load up recent scenes, and this is the, where is it? Okay, here we go. And you see a big white ball there, but in actuality, that big white ball is, because this is an OpenGL, we'll render it out for you. This is Mars. Now this is my first layer, and now the next layer I'm going to do is the ships actually leaving Mars and coming towards Earth, because the signal that you see sent in the little clip that I showed you with the temporary After Effects reaches Mars, and we see it heading towards Mars, and we cross dissolve to Mars, and we see an alien receiving, or a Martian receiving the information, and then a bunch of ships leave Mars. Now we start off here, and we move in this shot. We're in really close on Mars, and we come out like this, and we move back, and we turn like that. And yes, that's Ali Ray's backgrounds you see in here. Thank you, Ali. God, that this background is so beautiful, and it's serving us so well. And we're going to need a lot more of this in our next project. we move out to this point, and of course the ships go flying by, and that's what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to be putting the ships in. This has been rendered out, so that will be that layer, and I'm going to do put this up as a background and render off an alpha channel layer, and then comp the two in After Effects. So here we are, we're all loaded up with this background as reference, the animated sequence. And I'm going to go to here and go Files, just so people who don't know CGI can see how some of this stuff is done, because I find it interesting still. I'm going to load items from scene, and we're going to, new spaceship setup. We're going to load this in, and this was originally done with a lot of other details in it, so I'm going to, we don't need the star flat. I really like the new Lightwave because you have this ability to eliminate all these things, not do it after the fact. We want to keep the final spaceship layer 1 and 2 in there. We don't need the flat, we don't need Mars, and we don't need Mars layer. We just need the ship. So, and we select that, and it's going to load the ship in, and there it is. Now I have some camera moves in here I have to get rid of because we don't need them anymore, and go back to 0. Now the ship we still have some kind of camera movement in there, which I'm going to have to get rid of. We've also got auto key on, which I detest. So we're going to go and fix all that, and then line this ship up, and then put a whole bunch of clones of them and have them leaving the planet. And we're just rendering out a little preview here, and of course this is all in OpenGL. This is not rendered, just to see what the first ship looks like leaving in reference to my background I shot. And we get a good idea of how the ship comes closer, 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 gets cameras actually moving with it, and it passes by. So, and we're going to do this several times with a bunch of ships. And then we're going to do a reverse of them all heading towards Earth. Now you're going to be able to see this rendered here in a little while in this edit with a whole bunch of ships. So here we are, we just about rendered the first true effect shot. It's done in Lightwave, and what we're going to do now is convert this into an AVI and drop it into the timeline to see what it looks like. And then start the next shot, which is showing all these ships heading towards Earth. And here we are, we're rendering in Lightwave, and you can see the ships coming to Earth. They're whizzing by the camera like a horde of bees heading there, and you know, Lightwave is rendering away, doing its thing. And with everything I've got going on here, and the background is just the conflict, all these ships in there, and all those polygons and textures and everything else going on, it's, what is it, 6 seconds a frame. Which is, man, back in the old days, it would have been a lot longer than that. This sequence, which is 300 frames long at 24 frames a second, will be done in 15 minutes. Wow. That's Rosie being a big loudmouth.
That's because Xena started it.
Xena started it. Loudmouth, loudmouth. One of the things I want to talk about, as I always do with kind people who send me things to try out that they've made or that they're offering for sale. In this case, this particular item came from Kent, and I hope I'm getting your last name right, Kent. It's Faulring. That's Faulring. And he's in Canoga Park. Boy, you're not far. You need to come by and visit sometime, Kent. But Kent was so nice to send me this board. And what this board here is for, this came about as a result of the Battlestar that I'm building. Okay? Now, the Battlestar that I'm building, he thought I could use his sequencing board, which is set up for the Larson effect, which is the Larson effect on the Battlestar Galactica Cylon I, the Cylon Centurion, and also on the fighters. They have the eye going back and forth. Now this is made for the big Mobius model that Uncle Ted gave me and that most of you have. so that it can have the eye sweeping back and forth. And this fits in the chest of the model, and this has got a control on it right here, which is really handy because some of the ones that are available for purchase on some other websites don't have this, and this is a variable speed for the sweep, so you can actually get it that nice slow speed it has going back and forth. He also sent me these tiny little LEDs, and those are LEDs, and those are separate little LEDs that get wired up to this magnetic wire here. But he has been so kind as to write me again and say, Steve, I've made you up a set of eyes already soldered together. You can just wire the board. If that helps, can I send them to you? Why, of course I said yes, and I'll show you what those look like. Now, here are the lights wired into the head of the Centurion, and that's how he wired those in there, and you can see how tiny they are and how he's got one common going across all the common ground and the small wire. Then over here you can see the head and how they're in there. And let's see, there's one like that for the eye. So, and he's working on a B9 too, and he's made a board for that, I see. But you can see how it fits into the chest. This is fantastic. I can't thank you enough for this, Kent. And I warned him that there may be many of you out there that would like to get this for your Cylon, and because I wasn't able to really find a board out there that was to my liking. I had one that was for my Cylon Raider that I got a couple of years ago, and it was great, but it's too small to fit this model. Kent, thank you so much. And if any of you want to know how to get hold of Kent, you can contact me, and I will put you in touch with him to get one of his boards. He says he's not selling them, but he does like to make them up for people, and maybe you guys can convince him to sell some of these. I should have it hooked up next week so you can see it working. In between the lines, I've been working on Galactica here, and I've got a base coat of paint on, and this has been completely put together now, and I've got the runway in and everything. And what I'm going to do is turn off the lights over here, and we're going to fire this up so you can see how it looks lighted up with no light leaks. I got rid of most of them. You can see that we've got, this is lighting up Galactica very, very well. I do have to trim some of those fiber optics a little bit smaller, to go closer to the actual source. You see there's our runway lights, and also runway lights back here. But this really came out very, very well. I'm very pleased with how well this lit up. And here's with the lights completely off, and you can see what that does, how well it lights up Galactica. I'm really happy with that. So, and you've seen this before, but not completely closed up. Now I got to do this side, which of course has the museum in it and the windows, and so that will be doing next. Now I got this one all working, and it works with one single wire, operates all these lights. I am very pleased. Now, of course, the model, it has all the other lighting in it. I think I can, yes I can. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in so you can see it, because it's been a while since I showed it to you. And do that one and that one, and voila, we've got our red lights down there, which those hot spots will be gone after I diffuse the bulbs a bit. Of course, there's our engines, and we also have the windows starting down here. They're not all in by any means, but I've started on it, so this is really coming along very well. Now I want to show you what Tom Piedmont so generously donated to the Museum of Science Fiction in Washington, D.C. Of course, SNG is building a model for that museum of the Enterprise, the 66-inch one, like in our showroom. And everybody has been donating to it. You can donate to it by going to our website, steveneillsgarage.com, and you will find a page there where if you want to become someone who donates to the cause of the model being built, you can, and get your name on a plaque that will be displayed at the base of the model. And if you send in $100, there will actually be a tiny little figure of you that you can locate from the chart down below, inside and through the windows, inside of some of the rooms that you'll actually be able to see inside the Enterprise, because we're putting them in there. If you go back several shows, you'll see where I covered that. I know there's a lot of new people joining us, judging by how much our subscriptions have gone up, subscribers have gone up, and thank you for that. That there's a lot of new people. You need to go back and look at some of the earlier episodes. You'll see what this stuff's about, so it makes more sense. Now, Tom Piedmont, somewhere here, I have what he sent us. I guess it's downstairs. Let's go down and take a look. As we go down into... There it is, yes, on the table. Tom, Model Man Tom of Modelers Brand Products, you can see his website address, has donated all these LEDs to help build our large Enterprise model. And these are all colored LEDs for the nacelles and some of the other nav lights that are going to be on the ship. So he's got quite a few in each bag, and we really appreciate that. I mean, that's a lot of LEDs, Tom. Thank you so much. And of course, you can purchase LEDs and strip lighting from Model Man himself, who is in our movie, by the way. And this is 30 feet of warm strip lighting, and this is the warm color for the windows on the Enterprise. Tom, thank you so much for doing that, and everyone be sure to go to his website right here and check out his website and what he's all about. Tom's a great friend, and he's been a huge help on this movie. He's been doing photography, acting, a little directing, a little bit of everything, as has Carl Soto. Now, last Friday we shot a whole bunch of stuff, and you knew we did, and you saw some of the stuff we did, and some of you made some interesting comments too that were funny. You said, why do you always, why can't you use real actors? The acting's so bad. And what was the other one? I don't know. It was something that showed to me that you don't understand what exactly is going on here. And what's going on here is that this film is called Martians Attack SNG. It was Mary's idea to do a short film to showcase the things we did here. And so if the Martians are attacking SNG, then they're attacking Mary and myself. So, and of course the dogs and everyone else involved here. So that's why we're in the movie. And as far as the acting being bad, well, this is a comedy. It is supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be us. We're supposed to be playing themselves. And I have been an actor for many years in SAG and have done lots of things on the big screen in monster suits and as gorillas and even as myself from time to time. But in this case, we are doing something that's fun and that's funny, and that's why that's being done. What you're doing is you're watching our videos out of context to the information that would tell you that we've been doing this film now for the better part of a half a year, that it was crowdfunded on a campaign funding site called Rocket Hub, and we raised the money from the public to make this movie. So bear with us here as we go through the rough material here and turn this into a crafted film. So yes, you are going to see deliberate bad acting. We are trying to do this in the old style of old science fiction films of long ago. So you remember that we shot all the stuff on the roof, and I don't know where our sound is right now. There it is.
Okay, turn it on.
I will. And this is just a rough edit, and I'm just showing you some clips from it. Some of the stuff you saw on Fraps, and this is a temporary effect. But this is us on the roof, okay? And then this goes off into space. We see it in the sky, and then, you know, it just fizzles out.
I hope we didn't burn out Gary's translator for that.
And, you know, we try to fiddle with it. And as I'm fiddling with it, Mary looks up, and that's when we see the signal traveling towards Mars. And as we get closer and closer to Mars, we cross-dissolve with a shot of our Martian. And it sees Mary and I from the overview shot in the signal, and it tells them to launch an invasion, and then the invasion starts. Now there's some other shots that have to happen yet still, but these are all the ships leaving Mars. The camera starts to move with them as they go zooming past, like so, and then of course we switch angles and we see them all heading towards Earth, and these are all copies of the physical model that we built. And more shots on the roof, more VX. These are more shots here. We see the ships arriving in the sky. You can see Mary and I on the rooftop, more on the rooftop. Then there's this scene here, which I love. I drop my hot dog over the side. Now this is a script now that Bill and Heidi Hughes wrote for us. Ships coming closer. I drop my hot dog, which really upsets me when I realize it's gone, because someone has come to visit me.
I finally made it, man.
It's Simon.
By the irascible mother of Steve McQueen.
Oh, Steve, it's so horrible. What have we unleashed?
It's not that. It's Simon Merckx, and he's eating my hot dog.
Steve, I made it.
What happens to him after that, you're going to have to wait and see when you see the movie, because you can, it doesn't. Spoilers. So, this is, these are all temporary comps. They are all tracked. All the backgrounds are tracked in. There's all these scenes with the actual physical puppet yet to do. We're going to be using the CG puppet too. You notice the gun that I have here is from Star Trek, and this is when the Martian comes giving. This is the very, very end, which you're not going to see because it would give too much away. So, but this gives you a little bit of what we've done. Now, what you see here, and this is what you would see if you're right here with me in the edit bay, and what you see there, that gap, is where Doug Drexler is going to end up being, with the scenes we have with him, which is the middle of the movie, and Gary Hughes. Now, this brings the film to about, by the time we get the stuff on Doug and some of the extra effect shots that I'm here, we're looking at about a 30-minute film, which originally was supposed to be 17 minutes, and it just keeps growing. So this is the entire timeline here that we have so far. And it's quite busy, and of course our original score by Thomas Martin, which is really, really nice to have. So that's where we're at with Martians Attacks SNG. Now you know a little more history about it, because there's a lot of new people checking in on this film and not knowing what's up with it, judging by the comments. So now you know what we're doing. And I'm basically single-handedly, with the exception of Tom Piedmont and Brad Hoplock and Carl Soto and Mary and myself, basically doing this entire film single-handedly. We got some help from, of course, Bill and Heidi for writing the script, and we will be doing another movie with them, but we're not going to talk about that as of yet. We're going to keep teasing about it, and pretty soon tell you what it's about. So I'm going to show you some other things, and then we're going to end this video for this week, since it's mostly all about this.
Isn't that what we do here at SNG? Build imaginary things? I mean, really?
Yeah, that's true. Yes, that is what we do.
What is all this stuff, Steve?
Oh, this is just a bunch of cool stuff. This is the real focus here. This is the Martian transmographer. This is what I've been working on.
Oh, of course, I see it now. So what's it from? Mars Attacks or something?
That's just it, Tom. It's not from anything.
What's it supposed to do?
I don't know, and I won't know what it's supposed to do until I get it to work. And I'll need one of these to do it. But it doesn't make any sense.
Well, what about Doug Drexler? Wouldn't he know about this kind of thing?
Doug Drexler was a name I hadn't heard in years. He was once a good friend. Now, twisted and evil, he possesses the greatest knowledge of science and fiction known to man. If only he had used his power for good. Maybe simple and effervescent Tom had spoken the truth as only an innocent could.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Think he'll find that part?
Yeah, sure, he always does. But, Steve was saying something about hot dogs? What did I say?
And for those of you who are joining us nearly for the first time or the first time, this is the model that we are building for the Museum of Science Fiction in Washington, D.C. It's their website. You can see at the bottom here. And this is the model we're building. This is the original one I built almost going on 4 years ago. And through the help of Doug Drexler and Gary Kerr and Mike Kuda, who were there all the time while I was building this model and making sure I got things right. Well, you'll see there's one thing that's not canon. The impulse engines are lit up. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. But you see, I even got that little strange light done right with the little pieces of plexiglass in there. She's a beautiful ship. She's really looking quite the part now. She ages up and gets the odd ding in her and stuff. But this is the model referring to, and you can go to the Museum of Science Fiction. Actually, it's not the museum, just like the link says, museumsciencefiction.org. And you can want to be part of this project. You want to be, if your name at the bottom of the plaque that's in the museum, then feel free to add to the cause by going to our website and donating whatever you feel like contributing, and you'll get your name on the plaque and have the pleasure to have been part of this wonderful project here at SNG. We also have a page for support for our studio, since we are mostly nonprofit these days and working on our own projects. If you want to be part of the SNG family, as we would say, feel free to use the donation button to donate to helping us keep our doors open, these projects going through. Likewise, do not forget to visit, Rosie agrees, Enterprise in Space. You can see the link down here. It's an incredible thing that they're doing, and you really should check it out, what the project is all about, and support it as much as you can. I know I'm asking a lot for you guys to support this being built and support us, and don't forget to go to our store too. We have a store on our website, and you can help support us that way, because we have all kinds of things from Star Trek and other movies and things that we offer for sale for your collection. But definitely check out the Enterprise in Space and project. And you know what? I'm going to call it a day, and you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week for more exciting fun at SNG Studios. Thanks a lot, guys.